Hello everyone, welcome to the SI UK India webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. We are now live with University of Strathclyde. Today we have Camrie and Shweta with us. They will be taking us through this webinar. We will answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start the webinar. Over to you, Shweta.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Yukti, for giving us this opportunity. And thank you so much for joining us today. I'm joined by my colleague Camrie from our careers team. So we will try and make sure that this is a very interactive session. We are able to give you all useful information regarding your career choices and how University of Strathclyde can help you achieving your future goals. So I do have a presentation ready. I'll be introducing you to the University of Strathclyde, and then I'll hand it over to Camrie to take you through with our careers team, support that is available for our international students. So I hope my screen is visible to everybody. You all can see my presentation. So we are University of Strathclyde. We are one of the largest universities in the UK, and in fact, we're one of the biggest schools in Scotland. So just give me a second. Is my slide changing? No. Let me just retry. Sorry about that. Oh. Yukti, can you confirm if my slides are changing? No?
No,
It's not moving.
I'm so sorry. Just a second.
Do you want me to try sharing? I think I've got it open as well if you want.
Yeah, Camrie, if you can just try it once. Sorry about that.
No, not at all. We can open. All right, getting everything open here. Nope. Sorry, it's open on all the different screens.
Yeah, I'll try from my side if it's possible.
Just a second. Let me just try it again. I hope I've reopened it. No, mine is just stuck. Sorry. Is it working now? Yukti, can you confirm, please?
1 second, I'll just check. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Finally, it's working. So sorry, guys. Sorry for the interruption. So I'm Shweta, and that's my email address. And that's Camrie, my colleague from the international office, the careers coach. So that's her email address. You can take a note of it. So talking about University of Strathclyde, we started in 1796. So we are one of the oldest UK based public university. We are very often known as a place of useful learning. And I think the tagline of the university does give you some idea about how committed we are, how focused we are towards making sure that whatever our students are studying at the university, that's highly, highly useful for them. And we also ensure that all our programs have a very strong industry focus. So whether it's a humanities-based course or if it is engineering, business, sciences, across all four faculties, we have a very strong focus towards employability and making sure that our students meet the industry requirements once they graduate. Currently on campus, we are a huge university, mid-sized university, I would say. So we have 31,000 students on campus. Um, out of which we have 23 to 25% of them are international students. So when I talk about Strathclyde again, we are talking about a university which is truly international in their approach. So these students come from over 154 nationalities. So again, at the campus, you're going to witness a very diverse group of students. And I think this brings a lot of learning opportunity for all of you while you are sitting in your classroom. India is, of course, a very, very important sector for us, and we currently have approximately 1,500 plus students from India. Now, these students are, and they are coming here for their undergraduate program. A major cohort does come for their postgraduate studies, and then we do have research students from India who are currently pursuing their PhD opportunities at the university. If I talk about the university, because we're talking about employability, so again, we are the lead academic partner with Glasgow City Innovation District. This is an entrepreneurial venture. I will be talking about in detail in our slides later. So there are 1,600 plus, which is a big number, companies, startups, which are running in and around campus. So again, there's a lot of opportunity for students who are particularly willing to work in startups into various roles. Again, we are very committed to make sure that our students have a fantastic experience once they come and study with us at Strathclyde. So there is an over £1 billion campus investment, out of which we have renovated our sports facilities, our libraries are up to date. Then you will see the business school, the science school. They all have modern facilities and amenities installed so that our students do have a fantastic experience once they come and study with us. In terms of alumni, I'm sure you know that Scotland has always been on the forefront of innovation and technology. Um, these are the some of our alumni. Who have studied at the university, and we have a very strong alumni base in India as well. And majority of our students are doing very well, and we're very proud of our alumni in India. Moving on to the next one. Again, talking about the university, almost 90% of our research is currently world leading. And, in terms of ranking, because we do understand that India is a very, ranking driven market, and we understand the value of rankings here in India. 12 of our subject areas currently feature in the top 10 in the UK. I do have the subject rankings in the later slide, but just to tell you, for example, business programs are very popular with us. Similarly, we're very highly ranked for our engineering courses, finance, then pharmacy, pharmacology. These are some of our subject areas which are very, very strong at the university, and we have got very good industry support for these programs. In terms of rankings, because I did mention that rankings are quite important for us. So currently, as per the Daily Mail University Guide rankings, so we are currently number 8th in the UK for year 2024. Then I'm sure quite a few do know about the Complete University Guide subject rankings. So 12 of our subject areas feature in the top 10 in the UK. We have also been awarded as the Scottish University of the Year by Daily Mail University of the Year Awards for 2024. Currently, the Guardian ranks us at 16th. Sunday Times is 20th. So again, you will see that different rankings will have a different approach while they're assessing a university. So we are somehow ranked between 8th till 15th, on an average for majority of our rankings that you will see. Also, the Queen's Anniversary Prize, which is one of the very prestigious awards in the UK. So we have won that award thrice. And again, we are very proud of our different departments who have received this award. In terms of rankings, while we are talking about the research rankings as well, we are placed quite well in the UK. Uh, Moving on to where the university is located. So I did mention that we are located in Glasgow, Scotland. So when I talk about Glasgow as a city, we are a very vibrant city, lovely city with lovely people around. So currently we are ranked number 3rd in the UK in terms of the I mean, in terms of the city population. So we are the third largest city in the UK. In fact, we're the largest city in Scotland. We are also identified as UNESCO City of Music. So, for any music lovers, you will see there are a lot of gigs, musical events that happen in Glasgow throughout the year. So, again, you will see these concerts and music events bring a lot of opportunity, a lot of exposure to our students. Again, it's a very beautiful city. A lot of people do come to Glasgow for tourism. Then we are also named as the eighth best livable city in the world right now. So that's again one of the features of Scotland and particularly Glasgow. So as I said, you will see people are very warm, very welcoming, and this you will always see. You will always experience the first hand when you reach Glasgow, starting from the taxi person that you meet or somebody at the university, cafes. Everybody is really ready to help you and in whatever way that's possible. In terms of the shopping, so again, we are the second best shopping destination in the UK, just after London. And in terms of food, again, as Indian students, you will not face that challenge because there are a lot of Indian restaurants in and around Glasgow, in and around, in fact, the university, especially for vegetarian people, there is definitely not a problem. So, in terms of living or enjoying your life in Glasgow, I think the 1 year is going to be fantastic. Wherein I think Glasgow is a perfect blend of city life, and at the same time, you also have beautiful places to go, and you can enjoy the scenery and then the beauty that Scotland is known for. So I think, as I said, Glasgow is a perfect balance between city life and the scenery life that we're talking about. Um, in terms of the campus, of course, as I said, Glasgow is a big, big city. We're a very vibrant city. The good part is that the university campus is literally in the heart of the city center or the downtown area, whatever you may call it. So if you see, this is the city map that I'm showing you, and the blue part is where our campus is. So even the accommodations are on campus, which is literally near like 3 minutes to 5 minutes, 10 minutes walking distance from your departments. The good part is, since you are going to be based in the city center, so in terms of traveling cost is negligible. In terms of, if any of you looking to work part-time, I think those opportunities are going to be super easy because your travel time and your travel cost is literally zero if you're looking to work part-time. So if you finish your classes within 15 minutes, 30 minutes, these are some of the major streets in Glasgow. So these are the commercial streets wherein a lot of international students do go out and work part-time. So I think in that sense, if you look at the location of the university, I think we are very, very strategically placed. Again, we are very close to the bus station and the train station. So the train station connects you with all the major parts and major cities in the UK. So till now, I was talking about more about Glasgow from a social perspective, that how it would really feel like being in Glasgow. Coming on to the, I would say, the career bit or the kind of industries or sectors which are available in Glasgow. So I'll start with International Financial Services District. So Glasgow Financial District is one of the major attraction, especially for finance students, anybody who is doing business analytics, consulting, I think data analytics, those kind of students will really see a very good response from this. So basically, this financial district is home to some of the very well-known multinational institutions. So I'm sure we all know about Morgan Stanley, we all know about Barclays, we all know about RBS. So these kind of institutions have their presence in Glasgow Financial District. Also, I'm sure you all will be very pleased to know that Scotland is home to the second largest base of financial institutions outside London. So typically, London is known as the financial capital of the UK and Europe, but then Scotland is equally good. And then, the second largest base is available in Glasgow, in Scotland, particularly. Just to give you some stats, for example, JP Morgan and all these organizations that I just spoke about, they're all in their expansion form. So you will see more and more news coming from these places about hiring new people, more internship opportunities, more expansion plans. So I think again, this sort of gives you an idea that this is a very exciting period to be in Glasgow and Scotland, especially for finance and business graduates. So, for example, in 2023, JP Morgan opened a new global tech hub. Now, this is, as I said in the beginning, that this is finance plus technology plus data science. So, a wide variety of students would find interesting ventures and interesting opportunities in such initiatives. Again, JP Morgan, they started a new sort of a base wherein 2,500 jobs were announced in 2022. So again, I'm sure when we talk about UK market in particular, even though if some companies are announcing their jobs, you will see that the places are quite limited. Wherein when you talk about these financial services places, I think these institutions are coming with huge job opportunities and huge openings, huge number of places that they have. So I think again, this sort of gives you some idea about the kind of opportunities available in Glasgow. Moving on to the university's industry link. So again, Strathclyde is known as UK's one of the most industrially connected university. If you remember the first slide wherein I talked about that, we're also known as a place of useful learning. So whatever programs we do, we have a very, very strong focus towards industry. And I think, our career support services, our student success, stories is a testament to that. Again, we have Glasgow City Innovation District, which in the next slide I'm going to talk about, which is the home for almost 1,600 plus startups in Glasgow at the moment. Majority of our courses will have industry-facing modules and project placement. So instead of just doing an academic dissertation or a thesis, majority of our courses, they encourage you to take up a more industry-driven project in their final semester. Um, yeah, this was the one. So Glasgow City Innovation District, this was launched in the early 2019, just before the COVID year. And then as I said in the beginning as well, that Scotland is home for people who are looking at innovation, who thrive for excellence. So I think Glasgow City Innovation District is again an example for that. So we have 1,600 plus firms which are currently operating on and around campus. And again, it's a big number. And this is run in partnership with different other organizations in Glasgow. So any of our students who are looking at entrepreneurship, innovation, technology, project management, I think there's a huge, huge scope for such students in Glasgow particularly. This slide sort of gives you an idea about our major recruitment partners. So these, when I say this, unlike India, these organizations, they visit our campus and they sort of get to meet our students. These are more from the networking purposes, but of course that's the key. So if you start to network early, I think Camrie is going to talk about it in her slides later. So you'll get to understand more about the importance of this. Now I'll just quickly talk about the departments. So we have got faculty. So at Strathclyde, we have got 4 different departments. So we have got Faculty of Engineering, we've got a business school, science, and humanities and social science. So when we talk about the engineering school, please note we are the largest engineering school of Scotland. So within engineering, we've got architecture, biomedical, mechanical, electrical, chemical, civil, naval. So I think, anything in under the sun in terms of engineering, we do offer that. And the good part is that all our engineering programs are professionally accredited. So for example, if I talk about architecture, that's REBA recognized. If I talk about civil engineering, that's recognized by Institution of Highway Engineers, Civil Engineers in the UK. So these programs are very well designed to meet the industry requirements and at the same time are duly recognized by their respective bodies. I will move on to the next one, which is the business school. So I think business school does very well from India in terms of the number of students coming to the business school, in terms of our reputation within the industries in India as well. So within the business school, we have got accounting and finance, and we have got economics, entrepreneurship, management, marketing, MBA, and then work, employment, and organization, which is more to do with the human resource related programs. So very quickly about the business school. We were the first ones. So we are a Triple Crown business school, and we are very proud of this fact. In fact, we were the first ones in Scotland to get the Triple Crown. Then I did talk about the innovation district. So again, we are the first business school in Scotland to get the Small Business Charter Award in recognition to support in entrepreneurship and innovation activities with our students. In terms of ranking, we are again featured amongst the top 95 European business schools as per the Financial Times ranking. The other good part is that whatever programs I just talked about in the previous slide. So, for example, if I talk about finance, that's done by the business school, but at the same time, finance is recognized by CFA and CIMA. Similarly, if I talk about HR, that's from the business school, but at the same time, it's also recognized by CIPD. So, so the programs are very well drafted. And again, I'm just repeating myself here that all the programs have a very strong industry focus. Then we have Faculty of Science, which has got computer sciences, which is extremely popular amongst Indian students. We have mathematics and statistics, physics, chemistry, biochemistry, pharmacy. So again, number one in the UK for pharmacology and pharmacy last year. Then number two for forensics, top 10 in the UK for biomedical sciences. But at the same time, let me tell you that we've got some fantastic career-ready programs into computer sciences, cybersecurity, data science. So all the programs which we feel would have a very strong demand in the industry, we do have an opportunity to for the students to study those at Strathclyde. Last but not the least, the humanities and social science schools. So we have got education, we have got public policy, politics, and we do really well with diplomacy related programs, international relations, humanities, journalism, law, psychology, social work and social policy. So just to again let you know, humanities is considered to be a very typically a theory based and, sort of a program. So these programs definitely have a very strong theory base, but we again ensure that students do understand and have a career outcome after these programs also. So for example, and all these programs again are professionally recognized. So for example, if I talk about, let's say, psychology, the department is recognized by BPS. If I talk about social work and social policy, you will see that the programs have a very strong industry focus again. So I think that's there. In terms of scholarships, I think if you're keen to study this year, so these are the scholarship opportunities available for our students. Most of them can be applied once you have an offer letter. So I think your counsellors must be guiding you well on the scholarship bit. Otherwise, you have our details. You can contact us later regarding more detailed information about the programs and the scholarships. Student services. So again, as a university, I understand academics is one thing that we all look at, but then apart from that, we're also looking at the other set of services. So career services, we have Camrie here. She'll be talking about it, but we do have a very strong student support, especially for the South Asian students. So there's a CISA group, which is an Indian Strathclyde Indian Student Association. They have a very live Facebook and Instagram page. You can join them, and all the feedback that I've got is that they're very, very helpful to international students. Then we have a very strong student union. We have gym facilities, library. So again, when I talk about Strathclyde, I think we are a university which carries a lot of history and legacy with themselves, but at the same time, we are very modern with our approach. So again, best of the both worlds at Strathclyde, I would say. So these are some of our social media handles. So you can join us. You can follow us on Instagram. Then we're on Twitter, Facebook, and in fact, trust me, we have a very good careers page run by the careers team. So you can join that and get all the updates there. All right, so enough of talking from my side. So I'll now invite Camrie, and she'll take you through to our careers and employability services at the university, which I'm sure you're all very excited to know about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta. I will just do the next slide whenever I need them. So yes, my name is Camrie Holt, and I am a careers coach specifically for international students here at Strathclyde. And I sit within the Careers and Employability Service. So exactly as Shweta just mentioned, we have student support and the Careers and Employability Service sits within that. So alongside our international student support team who help you with more the sort of visa side of things, we focus on the careers side. So yep, next slide, please. So what I'm going to try and run through, and I'll keep it as short as I can so that we can get to questions. But a little bit just about what the Career Service does, how we support Strathclyde students. but also cover a little bit about what career opportunities are looking like right now in the UK for graduates, and ultimately what UK employers are looking for, which we help you to develop and make sure that you're ready for as a student at Strathclyde. So that's roughly what we'll go through. So if we just go on to the next slide. I'll first of all introduce you to us, to our Careers and Employability Service. So you'll see that picture there, that is us. That's where we're based. We're a welcoming bunch, and we're based now in one of the buildings right on the centre of campus. So we're really easily accessible regardless of what you are studying. We're right in the middle in one of those brand new buildings from that £1 billion investment. And yeah, it's been great. We're really enjoying seeing more students just passing by, and we've seen our uptake of our service really increase since the move to this new building. So if I go on to the next slide, I'll tell you a little bit about how we support students. So ultimately, what we know about students is that you are all very different. So if you were to come and study with us at Strathclyde, then the support that the Careers and Employability Service offers is going to depend on you, where you're at, what stage you are, and what support you need. We will tailor it to you. So whether that is exploring your career options, so developing a little bit of your own self-awareness about what you're good at, what you enjoy, what you want to do, you know, if it's related to your degree, or if you're using your degree as a pivot point to another career area, we'll also help you to research what the UK labour market looks like, how employers operate in the UK, so that then you can make a decision, and an informed decision based on what you know about yourself, but also what you know about industry, and hopefully develop an efficient kind of strategy. So that deciding on a career path and coming up with an efficient strategy, so that especially if you are joining us as a postgraduate student, you only have 12 months with us at Strathclyde. We want to make sure that you get as much as possible from those 12 months, and being as efficient in your use of time is usually key, because our postgraduate programmes are great because they're so full on and they're busy. We also then help students with finding suitable opportunities, so knowing where to look for jobs, how to contact employers, where to access networks of employers specific to what you are interested in. And I'll come on a little bit to how we work with employers to bring them onto campus to help you with that. And then, of course, the bread and butter of any employability service is helping you to apply for opportunities. So we provide coaching, different appointment types, which I'll come on to on the next a couple more slides, but helping you effectively apply for opportunities at all stages, from application all the way through to kind of interviews and assessment centres. But before all of that, we also have a pre-arrival advice page on our website. So this is open access. Hopefully you're going to get sent a copy of these slides and you'll be able to just click the links. But if not, if you just search International Pre-Arrival Module Strathclyde Career Service, you should come up with it. And ultimately in this, you'll get another little summary of what we do as a career service, so who we are, how we help, also what we can't do, and why, but also what you as a student or a potential student can do before you arrive in the UK to make sure that you can really maximise the time you have in the UK and at Strathclyde to hopefully gain as much as possible and leverage that into the kind of job and career path that you're after when you graduate. Also have advice on there about working in the UK, both during your studies, so if you want to work part-time, but also after your studies, so sort of graduate level positions. What you might need to think about, what you might need to research, getting yourself adjusted to maybe cultural differences, things that are exactly the same, just ultimately to help you feel a bit more confident. And then also a little bit of a brief overview on how employers recruit graduates in the UK, so sort of key dates, the stages of the recruitment process. So that's all really worth having a look at. And as I say, that's on our website, so you can just find that no hassle. Next slide, please, Shweta. So yeah, how we support students. First thing to say is we are still operating a hybrid model of support, and we're doing that based on that's what students want. So all of our sessions are offered, or most of things are offered on campus, but also online. So that's appointments, that's briefing sessions, and also even employer events. We're seeing that a lot of employers like to offer both. In terms of what we offer internally as a service, we run weekly employability briefing sessions. So those are short sessions on all different stages of that kind of recruitment process. So everything from job search strategy, all the way through to applications, to online tests, through to interviews, assessment centres, and then even into if you're thinking about further study, PhDs, or adjusting to the workplace. So we try to make sure that there's something for everyone there. We also cover briefing sessions at looking for part-time work and also internships for any of you who might be joining us as an undergraduate student. Internships are something you might want to look at doing during your summers. But yeah, part-time work, we're aware a lot of our international students want to be working part-time, need to be working part-time. So we do offer support to help you with that as well. And they run, as I say, on a weekly basis, both on campus and online, so that the option is there, whatever you would prefer. Another really huge part of the work that we do is one-to-one appointments. So making sure that students can get that tailored one-to-one approach. We try to be as approachable as possible and make sure that we can see you as quickly as possible. So we offer a range of guidance appointments, which are 30 minutes. We offer CV or application checks, which are slightly shorter. But also interview practice. We're aware a lot of people find interviews terrifying. And for a lot of our international students, you might be having to do this interview in a second or a third language. So we're there to support with that. And we try to make ourselves as available as possible. A huge part of what we do is actually also embedding, go back to the previous one, is embedding careers education into your curriculum. So working alongside your academics to actually fit in around your timetable. So rather than you having to find time in between lectures and tutorials, we will be scheduled in to come and speak to you. So whether that's taking you through the job seeking process, applications, interviews, whatever we feel in collaboration with your academics is necessary, we will try our best to provide. So sometimes that's credit bearing, we're part of credit bearing modules, sometimes it's co-curricular, so it sits outside your credit bearing in classes, all programme dependent, so that we can tailor it to the specific career paths and the needs of the students. We also have online self-learning resources, if that's how people prefer to learn. Again, if you go onto our website, which is linked in this presentation, you can have a little bit of a look, but most of that you only get access to once you are a student. But what I wanted to really make a bit of a deal was the international student tailored support. So as I said at the beginning, I'm a careers coach for international students. That role was new, it only started last year. So we're still developing and growing what we can offer. But everything that I've learned so far is that our international students, and especially those from South Asia, you are an exceptional, wonderful group of people. A lot of my job is helping give people the confidence to be as confident in their skills as I believe they should be. So I run specific workshops, helping with that process, that cultural adjustment, CV clinics, application clinics, drop-ins, anything that I can think of, I am trying to offer to see what works best. And that is only going to continue to grow as this role becomes more and more developed. So next slide, please. I also mentioned that we do a lot with employers. So the employer engagement team sits within the Careers and Employability Service. And there's various things that we do to involve employers on campus and give you a chance to meet them and decide if there's somebody that you want to work for, apply for, and also get as much information from them as possible so that you can put forward really strong applications. So key ways we do that, we run several large careers fairs over the course of the year. The Scottish Graduate Careers Fair is the largest in Scotland, and we organise that. It's based right in the centre of Glasgow, and it's predominantly Strathclyde students who attend. We also run a technology fair, which is another big one that we do. And over the course of both of those fairs over the last year, we've had 82 employers come along and over 1,800 students attend. And you can see there, that's a picture of our Scottish Graduate Careers Fair. It was very, very busy, which is wonderful. And we got really positive feedback from the employers on how well informed and motivated our students were, which was great. However, not every employer can come to a careers fair. And so we also do a lot of employer events, both on campus and online, which are more individual and maybe a little bit more tailored to specific groups of students. So those could be information sessions where an employer talks about job opportunities they have, how to go about applying, but it could also be skills workshops. We're seeing a lot of employers want to come onto campus or online and speak to our students about strong CVs, how to perfect your interview technique. And we really, really welcome that. You know, as Shweta said, we are an industry-focused university, and that extends through to the career service as well. We're really aware of how important it is that we're informed by employers. You know, I'm not making up what we tell you. It's always informed by the trends in recruitment that the employers are telling us about. We also have panel discussions where we'll maybe get alumni back to talk about their career paths, what worked for them, what they love about their job to help inform career choice. And also some departments, we help them organise more department level fairs. So for example, pharmacy, they have a careers fair specific to pharmacy and pharmacology. There's a law fair. This year, the marketing department, we supported them to put together a fair. Some of the engineering disciplines do their own sort of fairs and things like that. So lots and lots all going on campus, both on a full sort of whole university level, but also down to faculties and departments. And across that, we helped support 90 plus employers in addition to those that were at the careers fairs. So you're talking about almost 200 employers that we as the career service brought to students. But that isn't all the employers. We also have the vacancy portal, which advertised over 2,500 vacancies last year, the majority of which were for graduate level jobs. And we also support academics with getting guest lecturers. So that'll be, again, dependent on department. I work a lot with the business school, and I know that the business school and especially the finance departments have done a lot of having sort of whole series of guest lectures from alumni or people working in financial services or sort of consultancy services coming back in to talk about their careers and effectively giving you a chance to learn what it's like and to get some insider knowledge to help you with your successful career planning and recruitment process. So next slide, please. So that's all what's on offer to you while you are a student. But I think it's really important to note that we're aware you might need support after you leave us, whether it's getting that first job or maybe you go into your first job, you work in it for 2 years, and then you want to progress further. We keep supporting you. We support you and you have full access to support. So not a watered down version, full access, appointments, employer events, vacancies, online resources, all of that for 5 years after you graduate. I think that's there are some universities out there that can offer more, but for our size, we're kind of leaders in that. A lot of universities maybe only offer their online resources and things like that after 2 years, whereas we're aware that you still need to see us. Again, that's still online and on-campus delivery, so whatever works for you. If students are wanting to return home or to another international market, you know, online appointments and events work really well. We also subscribe to a service called Going Global, which is great if you are considering not working in the UK or looking at other options, working across Europe, the US, going back home. There's lots of information on there about the international job markets, recruitment practices and culture in each individual countries. And also worth mentioning that it's an American site, so there's a lot of really great detailed information about the working in the US as well on there, which we do support students with. And again, you have access to that as a student, but also as a graduate, which we know is really, really important. So next slide, please. So career opportunities in the UK. I think Shweta has given a really great scope of how great Scotland is and how much we're trying to be a kind of leader. But I just wanted to take you a little bit through kind of what the graduate labour market is doing at the moment, Scotland's labour market specifically, and then a bit about what employers are looking for and what you can therefore do in your time at Strathclyde to get as prepared as possible and overcome those kind of key challenges that we see. So if we go on to the next slide. So, career opportunities in the UK. I apologise, I think my bullet points have come out of this, so it's not too clear to see. But ultimately, I just want to address this quite head on. The UK is teetering on a recession. We can't lie to you about that. However, I just want to really make it clear, graduate recruitment does not show signs of suffering from that. So when you're hearing about if there are jobs being cut or places that are not growing, graduate recruitment is actually still increasing year on year. So we're seeing more graduate opportunities rather than less. And that's really great. But also it's not surprising. A lot of the trends, we're talking about AI, tech, graduates are the ones that have those skill sets, that adaptability, that you've just come fresh out of a learning environment, and therefore you're still really right to learn and adapt to the workplace. So I think that's kind of why. So actually, it's a much more positive picture than you might get from kind of news headlines and things like that. What I will address is there have been changes to visa eligibility, which have been issues for employers who use sponsorship as a route, and we're also waiting for a review of the graduate route visa. However, please know that the universities across the whole of the UK, and especially at Strathclyde, we are doing everything we can to lobby with the government and with employers to make sure they are as informed as possible and therefore as confident as possible to make the most of the international talent that you bring if you come and study with us. We're seeing that certain sectors have higher growth than others. So anything in IT and technology is always going to be booming, but we're definitely seeing that. Healthcare is a huge recruiter across the whole of the UK because of the NHS, also private. Engineering is massive. There is a huge shortage of engineers in most disciplines, but especially energy generation and technology manufacturing. And again, as Shweta said, all of our engineering courses are professionally accredited. They are taught by exceptional staff who still have really strong links to the industry, and our graduates are highly sought after in all of these high growth sectors. There will be geographic and sectoral variation. So some sectors that will have a big sort of market in Glasgow, others that will have a bigger market somewhere else. However, what I would say is that exactly as Shweta said, Scotland is becoming more of a hub, second for financial services. We're huge on that renewables energy. Scotland is the global leader for deep water offshore energy, so sort of wind farms offshore, etc. So there's lots and lots of growth happening, lots of jobs being created. And actually within Glasgow, obviously Glasgow is the third biggest city in Scotland, in the UK, first in Scotland, but you're also really well linked to Edinburgh, which is the other large city, second largest city in Scotland. I used to work in Edinburgh and live in Glasgow, so it's very easily commutable. So you have access to that and exposure to that while you study at Strathclyde, which is great. In terms of ongoing trends, we're looking at a kind of growing emphasis on sustainability, embedding UN sustainability goals and innovation, which I think is a little bit, again, why graduates are more sought after in the job market. Also seeing a bit more of an emphasis on face-to-face and in-office working. So employers wanting new graduates in their new jobs to come into the office quite a lot. And actually we're seeing that students prefer that as well. Graduates prefer that as well. They feel more like they learn the workplace culture and the organisational culture, which is great. I've put the links there for the key sources that I've used to gain this information. Prospects Illuminate is great for labour market information across the whole of the UK, but there's also been a report recently about the labour market in Scotland, so really worth having a look at if you are interested, which takes me on to my next slide, which is talking about Scotland's labour market. So I won't go into too much detail because we've already mentioned a lot of this, but Strathclyde is really well placed in the city centre. We're walking distance to the sort of finance quarter of Glasgow. But yeah, key industries that are booming: biotech, fintech, financial technology, high-tech manufacturing, renewable energy. If you go onto the Scotland website, the key industries, you can have a look through that. There are more there, but those are the highlights for me. What I also wanted to mention, I'd said about visas changing and everybody sort of getting up to speed on that. The Scottish Government has responded to that by creating Scotland's Migration Service, which was just launched last month, and it's only going to continue to grow. And effectively, it is there to offer immigration support to businesses, to employers, but also to final year students. So that's undergraduate and or postgraduate students, to help both sides with feeling more confident using the visas that are there, and hopefully meaning that we promote Scotland as a destination of choice for international talent. There are skills shortages. We know that we have international talent out there that can fill those, the Scottish Government and all the universities in Scotland, Strathclyde especially, are really pushing to help promote that. So a little bit of information there on Scotland specifically. But we'll just go on to the next one and start talking a little bit about what employers are actually wanting from you. So in fact, we can skip on to the next one after another lovely picture, if that's okay. So just next slide, Shweta, that's perfect. So what do employers want to see in candidates? Well, obviously a degree is very, very helpful and it demonstrates a level of knowledge, but in the UK, a degree is not enough on its own. Ultimately, employers are looking for the skills that you've gained. So the transferable skills that you can take from your degree into the job market. So yes, the knowledge that you've gained is great, but with everything that's sort of changing, what you've gained from university is actually more the ability to learn and to dissect information and to be critically analytical. And it's those skills that are almost becoming more sought after, because in such an unpredictable world where information is changing so drastically, those are the skills that stay consistent. So your transferable skills are going to be key, and they are very much at the heart of how we teach the courses at Strathclyde, and then also at the heart of how we as the career service help you to think about what you've gained to leverage it into hopefully a job offer. Commercial awareness is another really, really big one. So being aware of the sector that you're wanting to enter, what that job looks like, what are the strengths and weaknesses right now, the problems. And again, that industry involvement that Strathclyde have, the amount of project-based work that is in your curriculum, the amount of employers we have coming to engage with our students. There's sometimes options for placement modules, for example, that you can take, especially at undergraduate level. We really, really want to make sure that we're embedding employers and up-to-date industry information into the curriculum. And again, the career service helps support you to identify that and then leverage it to hopefully get employed. They're looking for students to be motivated and self-aware, know where their strengths and weaknesses are and do something about it. I have to say, working with a lot of business school students and a lot of our Indian and South Asian students, I find them to be highly motivated and self-driven, which is great, leads into that proactive and also adaptive. If the world was to flip on its head in 12 months' time, could you adapt and change to it? That's ultimately what employers are sometimes looking for. And that's why at Strathclyde, through how we teach you, through how we help you to think about what you're studying, we hopefully help you to be prepared for that. So next slide, please. So yeah, I've mentioned it sort of in passing, but the different ways that you can develop your employability while at Strathclyde, they're sort of within and then extracurricular. Within the curriculum, depending on your project or your programme, there could be industry projects, case studies which are used, guest lectures, also those placement modules. Really encourage you to make the most of it. They're really highly valued, and especially with the industry projects and case studies, they are updated on an annual basis. We're making sure that we get employers up to date kind of projects and what's concerning them. But extracurricularly, as Shweta mentioned, the student union is thriving. There are lots of different societies there which you can get involved in. So yes, maybe some dependent on hobbies, but also there are lots, engineering societies, finance societies, investment societies, etc. Lots of students like to do part-time work and volunteering. We help support you with finding those opportunities. Strath Inspire is also worth looking at. It is our entrepreneurship programme, so helping you develop entrepreneurial skills. Whether or not you want to start your own business, those skills of adaptability, being motivated, proactive, as we said on the previous slide, are actually what employers are looking for, even in a paid position. We also offer research internships for undergraduate students, so lots and lots of different things offered within the university, but outside your curriculum. And then, of course, there are external opportunities which we help promote to you. So internships, insight days, employers running things to help get you more informed. What I would suggest is, if you are considering studying at Strathclyde, have a look at our newly launched employability web pages, because they will highlight where we how all the different sort of employability options to help you develop your skills while you're studying with us. And again, that's there on the bottom of the screen. Go on to the next slide, if we may. I think I've kind of covered a lot of this. These are the key challenges that we see our international students face predominantly. So that kind of cultural adjustment to the labour market and the workplace. A lot of home students struggle with that as well. But with our international students, you've learned a whole environment, you're maybe needing to relearn it in the UK. Please know that as the Career Service, we help you with that, and we make sure that employers are helping you with that as well. In terms of comprehending visa requirements, limitations of employment, and being strategic as a result, it's something that I very much am passionate about in my role as career coach for international students. So we acknowledge that and we do everything we can to help you in collaboration with our international student support team, who can give advice on visas. But the other thing I just wanted to flag up for anyone considering studying something where a chartership or being part of a regulated profession is key, it's worth just having a little bit of a look at that and making sure that you're choosing a course which really suits your career goals. So especially in education, so teaching in Scotland, for example, healthcare professions, and within the engineering industries, a lot of the time there are quite specific paths to becoming chartered and or fully regulated, part of the regulatory bodies. So it's really worth having a look at the UK professional bodies for specific industries if you're considering a career in any of those sort of more regulated professions. Which brings me on to my next slide. I will very quickly hopefully get done in 2 minutes. That is the Career Service Employability website. Please do have a look on it. Lots of information that's there. The one I would encourage you to have a look at if you are considering coming and studying is the I Want to Work In web pages, because what we've done there is we've grouped together resources by industries or job area. So if it is a regulated profession you're interested in, if you go to the I Want to Work In page for civil engineering, then you will be able to see the professional bodies and what the chartership routes are in that profession, and if the qualifications that you're looking for are getting you to ultimately where you want to go. Also put another link to that pre-arrival module for our international students. And then I've also put the regulated professions in the UK, that bottom link with the UK government. So if you're not sure which are the regulated professions, you can go and have a look on there, and it's really clear, and it tells you which are the professional bodies that you should look at for eligibility. If we just go on to the final slide, I think that is me done. I apologise, I was going to try and finish at 20 minutes past for questions, but we've still got a wee bit of time. So yeah, I don't know if Shweta, you want to go back to the slide with both of our contact details on it.
Thank you so much for
take some
giving us
questions.
this insightful presentation. Now time for Q&A session. I will pick out the questions from the YouTube chat board. So the first question is, how do you select applicants? What aspect do you look for in an application?
I'll hand over to Shweta.
Thanks, Yukti. Thanks for the question. So when we look at an applicant, the first thing is, of course, we would be looking at the academic requirement for the program. Majority of our programs, if I talk about the postgraduate, we do look at a first division or a 60% and above in their previous degree. However, at the same time, we are also happy to sort of, look at students' overall profile. So honestly speaking, it's a holistic assessment of a student. It does include your it does include your academic performance, work experience, if you have done some internships, any projects, summer schools, so all that is taken into consideration. So academics plus all these factors that I mentioned would probably, be considered while assessing any student. Some programs do have a work experience requirement. So for example, if I talk about the Masters in Social Work, that has a 6 months work experience requirement. Similarly, when I talk about our MBA program, we have a work experience requirement of 3 to 5 years. So I think, these are very program specific, stuff. Otherwise, in general, academics plus the overall, profile of the student would be, is what we look at.
Okay. Is accommodation guaranteed? How much do students typically pay in rent?
Okay, so when I mean, guarantee is a very strong word to use, to be honest. So I will not use the word guaranteed. However, we do have enough accommodations available, and we sort of, if the student applies well in time, which I think is probably till, end of June or early sort of July, we would be in a place to, sort of give you a guarantee that everybody who applies will get an accommodation on campus. However, earlier the better. So if anybody who has an offer letter, our accommodation applications went live on 16th of April. So it's almost a month. So if you're an offer holder, please do make an application. It's a free of cost application on our accommodation websites. Now, talking about the rental part, we have two categories of accommodations available. So shared and ensuite. The accommodation rent starts from £123 per week and it goes up to 160. Typically, we offer a 51-week contract. So ideally, we're looking at £6,200 for the whole year to £8,000. So that's the range. This includes all the bills except your food.
Okay, how can students stand out while applying for scholarship in these courses?
Okay, so that's a tricky one. So when I talk about scholarships, as I mentioned, even for the program, the way we look at we do a holistic assessment of a student. Similarly, when we talk about scholarships, so academics is one criteria that, of course, the students, would be looked at. But then other than that, if a student has work experience, internships, projects, research papers, there are tons of things that the students can do at their undergrad level, or if they're coming from a school, so that, at their school level. So that would be one. A lot of times, Yukti, what we have seen is that the students might have done a lot, but then when it comes to putting them, in words or writing an essay or, explaining that, some of them, they do it very well, but some students, just sort of, don't sort of, I think, don't pay a lot of attention to that. So presenting and explaining explaining about yourself is very, very important. All our department scholarships generally require a 500 word to 1,000 word essay. So based on that essay, we come back to the students if they've been shortlisted for a scholarship.
Can you please tell me the deadline for September 2024 intake? Also, if there is any scholarship available.
So for 2024, we do not have any deadlines approaching anytime soon. So programs are all open. So undergraduate programs are applied through UCAS. So we will follow the UCAS deadlines in case a student is looking to apply for an undergrad program. When we talk about postgraduate, it's our own portal, which is the Pegasus portal, which the students can contact you and you can help them apply for the program. And similarly, the research applications are dependent on the program that they're going for. So just to answer it simply, there are no deadlines for now, but then earlier the better.
Does the university provide work visa post-study?
So when we talk about the post-study work, this thing, it's by the UK government. Camrie, do you want to comment on that? Yeah.
Yeah, so again, I'm not an immigration specialist, so I can't give too much detailed advice. My understanding is that the university can provide visas, but it's job dependent, and that will be clearly stated in a job advert. And as an international student of Strathclyde, you are, of course, allowed to apply for any job that you want, including those at Strathclyde. But we don't have a kind of fast track service where Strathclyde alumni are prioritised, to the best of my knowledge. There might be some roles that are offered, and obviously being an alumni is an advantage. So as long as you leverage that in your application, it might be the case. But what I would say is that we support you with looking at where there are more likely to be sort of visas offered, whether that's employers or other educational institutions as well. We're there to support. In terms of part-time work, your student visa, to the best of my knowledge, you usually get an allocation of working hours. Everybody within the university is very well aware of that. And we as the Career Service are actually starting to build more on advertising part-time jobs within the university. So a little bit. The answer is yes, but it's not an automatic thing. The graduates going on to the graduate visa is slightly separate. That's done by the UK government, but yes, the university has to approve that you've passed your course in order for you to be eligible for that, which they do.
So I have covered all the questions from the YouTube chat box. Thank you for answering all the questions so well. Do you want to share any final words?
I think
Uh,
from me, if I can just, if anybody does join us here at Strathclyde, please come and say hello, come and visit us, come to inductions in your first week. Especially if you're a postgraduate student, just make the most of the time you have and really use all the support that's there. Trust me, we always want to see more students. So please know that we're a welcoming and lovely university. Um, and you can count on that regardless of what program you were to enter. Shweta, if you want to
Thanks,
add
Camrie.
anything.
Yeah, so just what Camrie mentioned, as a university, we're known for our student satisfaction. We've always been in the top 5 in the UK for that. So I think the key is to ask for support, whatever support you might need, if it is. So before you reach the university, you can, of course, contact me. And once you're there, we have a fantastic international student support team on campus. Then you will see a lot of support coming from the department, your academics, and then career support. You just got a glimpse of it. So everybody is ready to support you. It's just that you have to be out and be asking for it. Don't wait for the deadlines, because I do see a lot of students looking at the deadline bit. So we're already, it's just 3-4 months and we are starting the program. So I think we're literally in the last leg. So in case if you're still considering to apply for September 24, please make an application as early as possible. The scholarships are live right now. Scholarships do have a deadline in July, like 31st of July for majority of them. So I think, you all have to be very proactive. And this is not only at the application stage, but also when you reach the university. So that's from my side, Yukti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time. All the audience, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact the SI UK India office. For more update, do follow us on our social media handles. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Yukti, is it? Are we done?
Uh, it's still live streaming.
All right, Camry, I'll take your leave then. Thank you. See ya.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.